Hey everybody, it's Lula. So this is the first time I've really come up for air this week. As most of you know, I've had a really rough week emotionally and suffered a really great loss when my landlord decided to rehome her dog, my Susie Bird, that I talk about all the time, my best friend. It's been bringing up some serious childhood trauma for me. Trauma that I knew of and spoke of sometimes, but just really seriously had no idea how deep the trauma went, how turbulent those emotions were, and how they just have been running rampant through my system. I've allowed myself this morning, period, because I had a lot of things planned this week, and one by one, I was just like, I can't. And I insisted on self-care and to take care of myself, because the only way for us to get to it is to get through it. And I say that to you guys all the time, and I genuinely mean that. And I am trying to get better about practicing what I preach, so to speak. Today's the first day I took a shower since, I think Saturday. I just didn't care. Monday was such a beautiful day in nature. We had such a great time. I thought I was feeling stronger, but then when we got back Monday night, and Ed and I went to play with Susie and feed her and take care of her and all that for the night, there was a moment where I said, "Are you going to give her one more hug goodbye?" And he's like, "No." And he just laughed like he couldn't do it. And I said, "Oh, I'll hug her in the morning. I'll come by and see her in the morning." So I was like, "Bye, Bird." I'm like, "I'll see you in the morning." And I tried to just make it lighthearted, even though I was crying the whole time, but trying to maintain my sweetness and my joyfulness, even though I know she could tell I was sad. And then Tuesday morning came and I didn't see her. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, I bet, Sarah's spending time with her. So I didn't want to infringe on that. She's not my dog, And even though I can't understand why she's doing this, it's not my place to, even though she's telling me how to feel, it's not my place to tell someone else how to feel. So I just was like, you know what, this isn't my deal. I'm going to let this be. So she wasn't outside really until the new owners came. And they were outside and they were playing with her, with Susie, and they were getting to know her and stuff. And then I saw them go in the house. And then when they came back out, I just got this really horrible, gut-wrenching feeling that this was really bad for her, that this was not going to be good for her. And, I said to Ed, I might just be feeling this way because I'm really sensitive about it right now. And I said, I can't. I go, what do you feel? And he's like, I think it's good. Like, he was trying to be positive for me and stuff. So then finally I just said, I feel like I have to meet them. I just have to find a way to meet them. And I was trying to find a way to do it without being overbearing, So I grabbed my card and I went outside. And as I was walking towards them, I looked at Sarah and I said, I just wanted to give them my card to see if they wanted any pictures. And she goes, what? I go, I take all those pictures. I go, well, I took a bunch over the last few days as well for you. And I said, and she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, oh, and then she introduced me. And then I got to meet them. And it wasn't good. I got an instant vibe that this was not the right situation for her. And I felt so sick to my stomach. I felt gutted. I felt like somebody beat the shit out of me. It was fucking horrible. And I knew there was nothing I could do. And I had to relinquish control. So I did. And after I, said nice to meet you, whatever, and I looked at them, I looked back at Susie, and she was kind of far from them, and she had a stick in her mouth. And I said, bye, Susie Bird. I'm like, good luck in your new home. And she's like, looked at me with her stick in her mouth, like, where are you going? And I was like, bye. And that was it. I didn't get to hug her one more time. I just walked back in the house. Well, of course, I bawled my fucking eyes out. And I spent yesterday and Tuesday just crying and mourning and going through this and going through all of these past emotions from when I was a child and realizing how significant these feelings are and realizing how devastated I was as a child when twice animals were removed from my home, or like in one case with my dog, my dad left with him and he came back and said he was dead. And we were like, what? And he was accidentally killed and all this stuff. So it was like his mother was taken away in a car. I didn't understand at 4 and I was traumatized. And then, that happened. So I realized that the root of all of this is that when I was a child, there was so much pain and suffering in my house. My father was an alcoholic and he beat my mother all the time. And there was always fighting. I mean, they hurt each other a lot. Like they hurt each other with they threatened each other with knives and guns. And it was just a very tumultuous time. I saw my mom one time take one of those big dinner forks and put it in my dad's back because he was coming for her. He was attacking her. I mean, I've seen shit that no child should see. So the animals were my safe haven. They made me feel safe. They made me feel comfortable. And so it was traumatizing. And this was traumatizing for me because I had no warning. Not really. I mean, someone would say, yeah, she told you 48 hours before, but that's not a warning. That's not when I've been spending every day with this animal for almost 2 years, except for, when I take my trips and that. No, that's not really a warning. And, Monday we had planned to go hiking and we almost were going to stay home. And I was like, no, you know what? I'm like, I need this for me. I hadn't been in nature in 2 weeks. I'm like, I need to go. And it was the only day Ed had available. And I thought, you know what? Maybe that's good for Susie to have one less day on the farm, to herself. And so we spent all Monday night with her. It was really great. So, we got to feel stuff. We got to get through it. All of us. And some of us who have the hardest roads are really powerful people. That's why we're here. We're old souls that came here to help everybody else. We're the ones that are here to pave the path. So I don't have much time on here. I'm about to get cut off, but I just wanted to say hi and kind of check in with you guys. I know some of you were worried about me. I'm just really sensitive and I'm tired of holding back, and I am really tired of people telling me how I should feel. Her reaction to me on Sunday angered me like you don't even know. It fucking poked the bear. And I've been going through a lot of shit because I've been told my whole life to stop being sensitive, stop being the way I am. And you get to a point where you're like, you know what, fucking stop telling me how to be. Even when I was a kid with my animals, it was the same thing. It was like, oh well, they're gone, get over it. And it's like nobody understood how powerful my emotions were, what a loving light being I was. And that it wasn't about attachment. It was just I didn't really understand, but I was such an old soul. I did understand. I understood it was wrong. And I understood that what was happening, I had no control over. And that molded me and that made me who I am today. So now I'm going to have to undo all the things that I've done. I'm going to do a 2-parter on this because I'm about to get cut off. I'll come back for the second one. Oh.